Hi there. Welcome to Stage 1, Level 2. Basically, there are going to be 3 objectives to this stage. The first is the body position. Now let's start with the feet. With regard to the feet, both feet should be flat on the floor. Your body should be very relaxed. So both feet, again, should be flat on the floor. Usually I play with my feet at about shoulder width apart. Okay, so that's the feet. Now, when it comes to the waist up, that's the most important. Let's start actually going down. With regards to the shoulders, we never play the piano like this, never, or sideways or anything like that. We just play perfectly square. If we look at the posture of the piano, with regards to our shoulders are comfortable. Now, our back is straight, but our shoulders are square. Again, we don't put them up. We don't want any muscles tense whatsoever from the neck down. Okay, so the shoulders are straight. And what I often do before I perform any piece is I think about my shoulders. I'll put my hands on the piano and I'll make a mental note of my shoulders. How do my shoulders feel? Because if my shoulders feel in any way tense, then the rest of my arm and the rest of my body is going to be tense, and I'm not going to be able to play as fast, for my muscles are going to be tight. So I see how are my shoulders feeling, and that's going to really connect with the rest of my body as to the tenseness of the muscles. So the shoulders are very important. Now soon a lot of this is going to become very natural. But at the beginning, you should be very conscious. How did my shoulders feel? So again, straight back, again, not extended back, but just straight, normal and comfortable. Feet flat on the floor. Now, when it comes to the elbow, you're going to want a 90 degrees from the elbow to the forearm. You're not going to want to play up like this. Your elbow's not going to want to be out like this or hugging your body like this. Just comfortably by your side at a roughly 90-degree angle. Now, when it comes to the wrist, you're going to want your wrist flat. You don't want your wrist up like this to play. You don't want it down like this to play. You want your wrist flat. And again, when you put your hand on the piano, both hands even, how does it feel? Does your forearm feel tense? Your forearm should never be tense when you're playing. Even the fastest runs, your forearm should never be tense. How do your shoulders feel? So the wrist is flat, not up, not down. When it comes to the fingers, I do want to start off by talking about the thumb. The thumb should be slightly bent. You strike the note of the piano with the thumb slightly bent. You never bend it backwards or out. It should have just a natural feel to the thumb. Okay, and again, keeping everything loose and flexible. Playing the piano is not just moving the fingers. A lot of the movement starts from the shoulder. To make great music on the piano, you're using a lot more than just your fingers. However, the positioning of the fingers are important and again, very relaxed. When it comes to the other 4 fingers, never should they buckle, or never should you sort of lift your fingers in a strange pattern. Just have at the beginning your fingers sitting nice and comfortable on the piano. So again, when it comes to the fingers, usually the fingers strike the piano on the fleshy part just to the inside, not on the tips. You wouldn't play the piano like this, but more of a comfortable setting where the fingers aren't extended, but they are certainly bent. Okay, so again, not quite 90 degrees when it comes to the knuckle, so you're not sort of playing like that, but that they are comfortably sitting on the piano. Okay, the last objective, so we've talked about the body position, we've talked about the hand position. The last objective is middle C. I want to identify middle C in the music and on the piano. So on the piano, if you notice how the piano is broken down, let's observe the black notes. You have 2 notes, and then a space, and then 3 black notes, and then a space, and then 2 black notes, and then a space, 3 black notes, and so on. That is consistent throughout the piano. The C note is the white note at the beginning of the 2 black notes. So here are 2 black notes, the grouping of the 2 black notes, and the middle C, or the C note, is the white note at the beginning of those two black notes. Specifically, middle C is that C in the middle of the piano. So what I would like you to do is to find all the C's on the piano, starting at the top and going down, just by identifying the two black notes. And then at the beginning of those two black notes, that note is called a C. And we're going to do this. We're going to use the whole keyboard for a lot of the different levels. The reason why is I don't really want to get caught up in just using these two octaves on the piano, but I want you to be comfortable with using the whole keyboard. Often people become intimidated with the upper registers or the lower registers because they don't use them very often. So we've identified middle C on the piano. Now I want to identify middle C on the music. If you observe on the music, you will see that there are 5 lines to the music. This is called a treble clef. We're going to get into that at another time. But we have 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that's called a staff. If we draw another line underneath that staff and put a note, that is where middle C is. That's the only note I want you to observe for now. We're going to get into the other notes on the next levels and the next stages. But for now, just identify that is where middle C is. We know middle C exists in the middle of the piano at the beginning of the two black notes. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next level.